Could check my Facebook page. A lot we're going to cover on today's program as we're live on all social platforms today. Vanessa Parkhill of Earlysville, welcome to the broadcast. Like and share the show. Lauren Carbo, welcome to the broadcast. One of the partners in CVille Smash, watching the program right now. Today's program, I am very excited to relay a boatload of information to you. We're going to talk pickleball, an indoor facility coming to Charlottesville and Albemarle County to the Central Virginia region that is going to have tremendous success. The ownership group behind CVille Smash, talented individuals with experience across a variety of industries, a variety of sports silos of professionalism. We'll talk CVille Smash and give you the who, what, when, where, why. We'll follow it closely. If you know anything about me, racket sports, a passion, and pickleball, the fastest growing sport in America. When you combine pickleball with a sports bar type of setting in an indoor facility, in a location that has significant space, in a high traffic area, in an affluent area, in a community that loves its racket sports, you see the recipe, the equation for tremendous success. We'll give you those details today on the I Love CVille Show. We'll offer some insight, some perspective, first to market information about a location in Court Square, downtown Charlottesville, that's on the market. A $4,595,000 asking price for 300 Court Square. The home of the old Charlottesville Eagle Tavern, 23,119 square feet of potential in Court Square, ladies and gentlemen. That story on today's show. We'll highlight city councilors in our fine and fair city last night approving by a 4-1 margin a vote that nearly 2x's their salary. I'm all for Charlottesville city councilors being paid more, but at a time where we have headwinds like inflation, credit card debt, expensive gasoline, God knows groceries are expensive. So many economic headwinds for our community and our region. Was it the right time for Charlottesville city councilors to vote to nearly 2x their salary for a part-time job? And speaking of headwinds, Payton's Grocery in Greene County, oh my, oh my, oh my. The headwinds are troubling. We're talking amateur pornography, potentially, at Payton's Grocery by the man who prepares the food for Payton's Grocery. You heard me correctly. What is going on in Greene County at an absolute iconic location that's known for its fried chicken and its potato wedges? And unfortunately, speaking of restaurants facing headwinds, Endzone Pizza on that Albemarle County, Greene County line off of Timberwood Boulevard now closed permanently. The ownership announced that move last night. An out-of-market real estate conglomerate, now the owner of that shopping center, and rents are going up. And by up, I mean dramatically up. So much to cover, guys. On the Tuesday edition of the I Love CVille Show, we thank our partners at Rata Brewery for being a part of the show. Dr. John Shabe and the team at Rata are doing amazing things. We're talking the Disney World of Crozet is now the Disney World of downtown Stanton and the Shenandoah Valley. The location in Crozet is going to evolve into a sports bar where you can watch sports, drink cold beer brewed by a new brewmaster at Rata. Of course, the activities for kids, families, and dinos and move through to absolutely fill your stomach, guys. Rata expanding to downtown Stanton, and they purchased the assets of the former Skipping Rock Brewery, including the beer equipment that is some of the best on the East Coast. Rata, Dr. John Shabe, and newly minted partner Joe Reed, the former UVA star who played in the National Football League. This ownership group and this team, amazing things absolutely happening. Judah Wickower on a two-shot, the director, the producer of the program. I'm a sports guy. Every team needs a glue guy. He's our Elmer's glue guy right here. Does everything we need to have the program up and running. I ask you this question to start every program. The headline, Judah Wickower, that intrigues you, my friend, the most.
I mean, of course, it's got to be the Greene County story, because that's just, I mean, it's comedy gold. As as mind-boggling as it is.
It's sad.
It's sad, but it's
Payton's Grocery.
It's self-inflicted.
Payton's, a large part self-inflicted.
Large part.
It's Payton's Grocery been around forever. Been around forever. I remember 20 years ago plus having the potato wedges and the fried chicken from Payton's Grocery in Greene County. Now this locally owned business can barely keep the lights on, financial difficulty, the property on and off the market for sale, an article in the Greene County Record about Payton's Grocery and what appears to be amateur pornography being shot and spread by the food preparer.
I don't even know if it qualifies as that.
We'll talk about it later as the show progresses. Put me on a one shot. We'll highlight a story that is positive and a story that's going to have a dramatic and significant impact in Central Virginia. There's an ownership group of 3 people. Colleen Shear, along with Lauren Carbo and Chris Crater, are going to create CVille Smash in the old Marshall's location. This team is primed for success. They have a spot in the old Marshall's location that is large and, most importantly for pickleball fans, inside and protected from inclement weather. Everyone loves to play racket sports. They don't love to play racket sports in the rain, the 110-degree heat, or the freezing cold. Interesting fact about pickleball, know the sport quite well. When it's too cold, the balls can crack while playing the sport itself. If you don't know anything about pickleball, I encourage you to wake up because it's the fastest growing sport in America. Padel is the fastest growing sport in Europe right now, a combination of tennis and squash played on a glass court. There's 1 Padel court at Greencroft. There's 3 Padel courts coming to the Boar's Head, funded by Jaffrey Woodruff. Pickleball, the fastest growing sport in the United States of America. You have pickleball being played everywhere. Tennis courts being converted to pickleball courts. Pickleball players aging from tennis into pickleball. Millennials, Gen Zers playing pickleball, kids playing pickleball. It's a game that's easy to pick up, but it's a game that's difficult to master. One of the partners in this ownership team, Colleen Shear, I've had many a hand battle with on the pickleball court. Fantastic athlete. A coach of the University of Virginia lacrosse team at one time. 28 years, a women's lacrosse coach, Colleen Shear. She is as tough a competitor as you will find. She is gritty, and I would imagine, along with her partners, Lauren Carbo and Chris Crater, they're going to bring that grittiness to business, and they're going to create a model that I think is going to have a lot of success. Here's what we know with CVille Smash, the old Marshall's location. There's going to be different membership options, some open play, some clinics, some tournaments, corporate and private events. There will be food, there will be booze, there will be a sports bar type of setting to complement pickleball play. This is a model that's quickly popping up across the country. We saw this model pop up, I believe, in Charlotte with former Boar's Head player Meg Charity, a pickleball pro on the professional pickleball circuit. She tried to do the model in Richmond, I believe ended up doing it in Charlotte, North Carolina. I think her model called Rally. This concept is pretty straightforward. You combine pickleball with food, with drink, with a family atmosphere, with some TVs that are showing sports, and you charge to play and you charge for the food, and you see if you can make a go of it. I think in a community like Charlottesville and Albemarle County, in a region like Central Virginia that prides itself in athletic activity, prides itself in racket sport play, utilizing a sport like pickleball that's the fastest growing one in our country, you are primed for success, especially if you're first to market. And they are first to market with the first indoor facility. You go to Dardentown Park, you see those pickleball courts always packed. You go to the Greencroft down Ivy Road, you see those pickleball courts always packed. You see Boar's Head, you see Glenmore, you see Farmington, you see those pickleball courts always packed. Here's the key. Here's the key. Can this business make a run at this in a retail type of model? Oftentimes, pickleball players are playing in a free setting at a public park like Dardentown or as a guest of members at private clubs. Not a lot of pay, money exchange going on. Will pickleball players make the transition to paying to play in an indoor facility? I bet yes. And why I bet yes? The following reasons. Inclement weather, heat, rain, and cold make this sport difficult to play year-round. I think the indoor facility has a leg up there. I also think they're going to build an atmosphere with a sports bar setting, maybe music, maybe happy hour, clinics, bringing in pros to do tutorials and other coaching type clinic scenarios. That all rounded up under one brand and under one moniker is going to prove to be successful, I think. Time will tell. I'll give you a little insight into Chris. Chris Crater from ACAC. The man has got some serious chops. You do a little LinkedIn search for Chris. Doesn't take much research to find out. You're looking at the Chief Executive Officer of ACAC Fitness and Wellness Centers, a guy that understands consumers, exercise, fitness, sports, and monetizing them. I'm going to get to know Lauren Carbo a little bit more. I can speak very highly of Colleen Shear. She is a badass. I hope this gets back to her. A badass on the women's lacrosse field, developing lacrosse players, coaching lacrosse players, playing lacrosse herself, an NCAA standout still in the history books from point scored standpoint, an assist machine as a player, Colleen Shear. CVille Smash, the old Marshalls location. Get ready, giddy up. I think it's going to be hugely successful. Judah Wickhauer on a two-shot. My friend, have you played pickleball yet? I think the answer is no. We got to get you on the pickleball court.
I have not played pickleball.
Do you know what a dink is?
I know we used to call people dinks when I was a kid.
It's not dual income, no kids, Judah Wickhauer.
That's not how we used it.
It's not dual income, no kids. It's not that moniker. How did you use it as a kid?
It was a pejorative.
Jesus. There's only one Judah Wickhauer.
It was a diss.
It's a diss. All right, I understand
You
the word
dink.
diss. I understand the word diss. It's a soft touch shot used to get court position for the next shot or the shot after that can create a winning type of shot.
Gotcha.
You often see dinks cross court away from the net, but you can't hit them too close to the sideline or it'll create an ATP potential. You know what the ATP?
Man.
Watch out for the ATP.
All-terrain portage.
Around the post. When you hit the ball around the net,
That
and around
seems
the
like
post for a
that
winner.
seems like it's a short enough. It's short enough that it doesn't really need to be shortened.
An acronym
Yeah.
around the post.
Yeah.
Pickleball, ladies and gentlemen. CVille Smash, the old Marshalls location. It's going to crush it. Back on a one-shot, J-Dubs. Let's use. Did you use the video for CVille Smash and the photos of Colleen?
No.
Oh,
You want me to?
I would love to see
All right.
the little Instagram tease for CVille Smash. Let's get the video up first. Give me a heads up when that's on screen.
All right.
I love this tease that I saw on Instagram for this.
And
Look
go.
at the screen, viewers and listeners. A little rally against the old Marshalls wall where the branding used to be. That's Colleen. Look at the quick hands from Shear. Look at the quick hands from Shear right there.
Not bad.
Pretty damn good. And
Yeah.
her photo on screen. Friend of the program right there. Then once you do that,
There
you
it
can
is.
put me back on a one shot and we'll go to the Court Square landmark that's for sale. Interesting story, 300 Court Square. We back on a one?
Yep.
We're going to rotate the photos of 300 Court Square. Put those on screen. There
There
was
we
some
go.
chitter chatter, some scuttlebutt in the circles that I run in. Those circles, from a professional standpoint, primarily real estate and development and commercial real estate of 300 Court Square maybe becoming a boutique hotel. As you flip through the photos, you can see the foundation. You have good bones. Do the bones need some upkeep and do the bones need some remodeling? No doubt about it. This is
100%.
I said no doubt about it.
Yeah.
This is the old Charlottesville Eagle Tavern. This is across the street from the courthouses.
Yeah.
Literally across the street from the courthouses. The old Charlottesville Eagle Tavern, 23,119 square feet. You can do a lot of stuff here. You got maybe a boutique hotel, a restaurant, a tavern, an event space. Maybe you add some office space in there. We are in the executive office space game. Yours truly, our business. We have 24 of them. Maybe you do something like this. I'll give you some of the specs, and then I'll tell you the potential. The asking price, $4,595,000. That's $190 a square foot. I don't think this one's priced that bad. A lot of these come out of the market priced obscenely expensive. The old hardware store building on the downtown mall, one of the reasons that's still on the market, obscenely expensive. Overpriced, some would say. This one's not priced poorly. You have 23,119 square feet. You have tremendous potential, a 1920 built building, 4 stories. You have a typical floor size of 3,300 square feet, just under a quarter of an acre in downtown Charlottesville, and some upside and some potential. Boutique hotel, event destination, event renting, place that you could rent for private parties, wedding venues, rehearsal dinners, sophisticated bougie tavern or bar. You could do a scaled down version of Oakhurst Inn, maybe a scaled down version of the Clifton, something that's bed and breakfasty here, where folks can walk all over town, charge $300, $400, $500 a night a room, have a cocktail bar, $18, $20 a cocktail, something where it's like the alley light meets Lost Saint bar. And I think you'd have some success. You walk out the door, you don't have a better location.
Right.
Downtown Charlottesville, Court Square, a block away from the I Love CVille studio, and God knows that's a tourist destination. This has got potential. $4,595,000 ask right here. What comes to mind when you see this?
You better know what you want to do with it, because it's going to require some work. I walk by it pretty much every day, and for a while there was yellow tape along the sidewalk.
It looked like they were going to do something out of it. They had painted the balconies different colors, blues and greens, to test paint colors. I think it just became too much of a project for the current owners, and they decided to test the market and say, hey, maybe this isn't for us.
Yeah, I mean, that sidewall looks like it's about to fall out on you.
That's a bit dramatic.
That is not a bit dramatic. It's got a... I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. It's a bit worrisome.
Oh, man. Dennis Cranton, giving some props to Colleen. Assistant at JMU. Her daughter went to Western Almar. Is now playing lacrosse at Duke. I believe not in coaching anymore, but was an assistant at JMU and came back to UVA for a second stint, Colleen. Back to the topic at hand. What would you do there?
What would I do there? I mean, you've got good ideas. You probably know better than I do what would be good there. I would... I don't know. I might make it into like a little... split it up into different... not so much offices as... I don't know. Kind of like a mini dairy market. I think Charlottesville needs more reasons to step off the mall and walk around.
John Blair watching the program. John Blair's photo on screen, number 2 in the family. What a scoop, Jerry. I'm so excited for CVille Smash opening. I can guarantee you the Blair family will be patronizing that establishment. I think much of the community is going to be patronizing CVille Smash, including the Dink Master himself, Judah B. Wickhauer. We'll get you on the pickleball court. I go boutique hotel. I go $400 or $500 a night. There's a boutique hotel right down the street on Court Square from them, half a block away, on the corner of, what is that? 4th and, what road is that?
You're talking about right next to it?
Yeah, right where we park. Corner of 4th and, what street is that? Directly parallel to Market, on the other side of this. Is that Jefferson?
Oh, yeah, Jefferson.
4th and Jefferson.
Oh, you're talking about that little place with the antique shop underneath.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
That's a hotel right there.
Yeah.
I mean, do something like that. You have success with it. Absolutely. Dennis watching the program on YouTube, too. I appreciate you, Dennis. Thank you for watching the I Love CVille show. All right, other tidbits that I want to get to today on the program. We gave you some real estate news. $4,595,000 asking price, $199 a square, 23,119 square feet with tremendous upside and potential. Is it going to need some money invested in the building? Of course it is. And is that money going to be below $1 million? Probably not. Okay. But someone's going to do something pretty special with this property in a community that has so much money in it. I would not be surprised if this is scooped up fairly quickly.
What are the what's the word? I can't find the word. Considering the fact that it's connected to the Court Square Inn, what is that? The Court Square Hotel?
No, you're thinking of the old Monticello Hotel.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Where Mickey Hamlet used to be located. Mickey Hamlet, the law firm for these businesses from time to time. The talented David Thomas, a partner at Mickey Hamlet. Mickey Hamlet used to be in the entire primary level of the old Monticello Hotel. They have since moved their law firm behind Truist Bank. That old Monticello Hotel, a condoed building. Yeah. And the balance of power in the old Monticello Hotel is one that is difficult to maintain. The building needs significant upkeep and money invested into it. The Monticello Hotel, now condos and penthouses with commercial on the primary level. Court Square Tavern still located there.
Not open.
Great location. You have a lot of movers and shakers that own in the old Monticello Hotel.
Yeah.
But it is connected to that building.
Yeah, and I'm wondering about how difficult it would be to start work on that space.
Well, it's funny you brought that up. One of the things that you have to realize is this property is qualified for historic rehabilitation tax credits. One of the challenges you're going to face here is the red tape that comes with being in a historic district. Mm-hmm. That's one of the challenges with the development of this project. This is not going to be a project that is going to be fast with its approvals and its development. But there's tax credit potential, and it's in the heart of our city. Deep Throat, number one in the family, he leaves on Twitter. He goes, man, that price, less than 200 square foot, that's priced to move, or it's priced like it's a total gut job. I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, it's definitely a gut job.
It's a little bit of both. Know the building well. It's a little bit of both.
There's a chunk missing from the eave where I believe birds are nesting. You can see up into it.
You can say that for half the buildings on the downtown mall.
Really?
Half the building. Have you seen the Dewberry Hotel? There's
that's not
Splinter and his family are nesting at the base of the Dewberry Hotel, and they're not raising mutant turtles. Are
you sure about that?
I mean, you can say that for a lot of the buildings in downtown Charlottesville. But I see the point. Mm-hmm. I see the point. Total, you spend, say you get it at 4 or 5, you're probably going to dump 2 into it, and you're probably not going to $2 million into it, and you're probably not going to start collecting any kind of real revenue 24 to 36 months away. CVille Smash, on the other hand, the opening is projected late winter, early spring. So you're looking at that indoor pickleball facility in the old Marshalls location, opening potentially early spring. That's a quick turnaround. But the build out of a pickleball sports bar is considerably much more manageable than taking a 22,000 square foot building in a historic district and reimagining it. 23,000 square feet.
That's how old?
1920. Whew. It's 104 years old. And I want to say this about the owners of the Marshalls Shopping Center, where Marshalls used to be located.
Where is that?
29. Where Marshalls used to be located. My wife's letting me know exactly where it is. She says Ferguson and maybe a party store are there. But here's a fantastic, I want to suggest this. The owners of that shopping center, creating an indoor pickleball center or renting one of your storefronts to an indoor pickleball center is a genius idea. If you can get the indoor pickleball center traffic and traction out of the gate, it will create trickle-over business, trickle-over customers walking to the other storefronts in that location. Mm-hmm. You can build around something like this. It's like having a very high-end and swanky fitness studio, whether ACAC, Orange Theory, as an anchor tenant. An anchor tenant that's a destination. An anchor tenant that's a destination creates buzz for the other businesses around it, and you can utilize a CVille Smash to potentially create popularity, activity, and raise the rents at the other vacancies that you have there. And I would imagine that's the concept. Barracks Road does that very well. Federal Realty, the publicly traded company that owns Barracks Road Shopping Center, they do a very good job of that. I would make a legitimate argument, I can make a legitimate argument, that the Shops of Stonefield, now owned by a private equity firm in the Northeast, it's traded a few times, the Shops of Stonefield ownership, that the Shops of Stonefield needs to do a better job of having anchor tenants, not the movie theater, that are destinations for the Shops of Stonefield. The buzz and the runway of a movie theater, I think, are behind us. We just moved to the Ivy area. We bought 4 new TVs. I'm talking 77-inch, 78-inch TVs, 65, 68-inch TV, and 2 50-inch TVs. We had them mounted. We had them wired. We had them installed. We had them warranted. We got fire sticks for all of them. One of them was installed on a stone fireplace, a very precarious position. All in, everything included, you're talking $3,000. If you can watch the highest of def with the best surround sound in the comfort of your own home while cracking beers that you get for $2 or $24 a case as opposed to $9 beers at Alamo, why would you leave your house? You're on a recliner, a leather lazy boy, watching an 80-inch TV with surround sound, drinking beers from a $24 case, $2 each, popcorn that's $1.99, buttered the way you want. Why would you go to the movie theater? I don't think it's the draw at Stonefield.
Now you're speaking my introvert language.
Dink.
You dink.
You dink. Why would you? That's one thing Barracks Road has done well that Shops of Stonefield has not done well. All right, next topic. Put the lower third on screen if you could, please. City councilors voted yesterday 4-1. Thank you, Lloyd Snook. Thank you, Lloyd Snook, for voting no on this. Georgia Gilmer jumping in. She says, I'm a little late tuning in, but 300 Court Square, the hotel near 300 Court Square is called the Inn at Court Square, and it's owned by the Deloach family. You may know Candace, Jerry. The corner of 300 and Jefferson. Thank you, Georgia Gilmer. Her photo on screen. Ray Cadell watching the program as well. Make this make sense for me, okay? City councilors vote in a 4-1 fashion to nearly 2x their salary. And I'm going to tell both sides of the tale here. Mm-hmm. The mayor's pay goes from $20K to $37,000, and councilor pay goes from $18,000 to $34,000. Okay? The last time a pay adjustment was made was 1996. Oof, that was such a long time ago. And I'll also say this. If you're making $34,000 as a councilor and $37,000 as a mayor, you're working a second job elsewhere and living in the city of Charlottesville. Mm-hmm. Okay? But this is a part-time job. This was never intended to be full-time work. Some counselors like to spin it as full-time work, but it's a part-time job. You talk to Lloyd Snook and says, this is a part-time job here. You're talking 20 hours a week. Some weeks you work more, some weeks you work less. Here's the beef I have with this. We have economic headwinds across the board. Credit card default is popping again.
Yep.
Groceries, a family of 4, $300 a week, easy. Easy peasy, sunny breezy. Can you go to the Market Street cam and see this young lad on what appears to be on a red Specialized bike, enjoying a little time in front of the studio? That's the older lad. There's the younger lad. Right there.
They're on screen.
Here you go, fellas. Pop a wheelie for me. Pop a wheelie. My point is the perception.
Yeah.
My point is the perception. I don't mind the raises. I mind the nearly 2x raise and 1 vote.
Yeah.
It gives a bad taste when real estate assessments are going through the roof, personal property taxes are taking money out of our pocket, groceries, gasoline, credit card debt, student loan debt is back in the mix. Mm-hmm. You have to manage the perception of government.
Speaking of which, we should mention that the raise doesn't come into effect right away.
July 2026.
Yeah, so this is not necessarily for the current councilors.
Very good point. The next elected cycle.
Yeah, and I appreciate what they're doing.
Which could be a ranked choice voted council.
Yeah.
You're a huge ranked choice voting proponent.
I think it's got its place. It's not right for everywhere. But
you want to set the table on ranked choice voting?
Yeah, as well as I can.
Sally Hudson, the biggest champion of ranked choice voting out there.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't think it works for every locality. I don't think it works for every political race. But for a place like Charlottesville, it may be perfect. You basically, rather than picking one person to vote for, you rank them. So if there are five candidates, you would rank them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if at the end of the tallying of the votes there is no clear winner, then they take all of the lowest, the person that got the least amount of votes, and they go to everybody's next up from there. So if you're number 5, I don't know. I'm probably describing it wrong, but essentially, it would make it easier for more people to jump on and run for office, where you're not just in some of our recent races we've had basically 2 or 3 people that you knew 100% were getting most of the votes. This way, there is at least a chance that someone else could place pretty high. Does that sound right?
Fair description, ranked choice voting. I think you went the long way to get to the short way right there. But that's why we love Judah Whitcower on the I Love CVille show. Neil Williamson says, the last pay raise was 1996, as you said. Where was Jerry Miller in 1996? And does pay influence the quality and quantity of the type of candidates? In 1996, Jerry Miller was sneaking into the College Deli in Williamsburg, Virginia by jumping the fence and drinking $2 natural light pitchers, much to the disappointment and disgust of his Southern Baptist parents. That's what Jerry was doing in 1996. Tomfoolery and shenanigans, Neil Williamson. The point Neil Williamson is trying to make is this. It's been forever since they've gotten a pay raise. That's a fair point from Neil, the president of the Free Enterprise Forum. The point Neil is also trying to make, by upping the pay of city councilors, you could get a more diverse council pool.
Yeah.
Right now, councilors are generally white. They're generally affluent. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes retired or entrepreneurs that they can make their own schedule. Yeah. There have been exceptions to that rule. Michael Payton, his top income stream each year is his pay from council, the $18,000. You know what I'm going to say next. Judah knows what I'm going to say next, so I'm not going to say it next about Michael Payton because he chastised me last time for saying where Michael Payton is currently living, which allows him to earn $18,000 a year. Natalie Ostrin is also an exception. Yes, she's white, but she's working her tail off in the wedding industry at Pippin Hill as an events planner.
Yeah.
Okay, she's grinding. She's not self-employed. She's not wealthy.
Yeah.
She's not retired. Mm-hmm. She has an employer, and she's working her tuchus off in the events industry. Nikia Walker, an exception to this rule, right?
Yeah.
There are exceptions to this rule.
Definitely.
Now, for the most part, what you've seen on council is a very homogenous council pool. White, self-employed or retired, and affluent. And Neil makes the point, if you raise the pay, you may get more diversity in council. I will push back if you raise the pay. Do you become a bastion or a playground for a career politician that wants term after term after term? Ann Malik, Elmore County Board of Supervisors, in her 5th term in Elmore County. I asked the question to Neil Williamson, Is Albemarle County best served by one person having 5 straight terms on the Board of Supervisors? When the 5th term is over, she will have served on the board for 20 straight years.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to
Determining the future of Albemarle County for 20 straight years, one person. Diantha McKeel, I believe, is in her 3rd term. Should we have... Here's a fair question for the viewers and listeners. Then I'm going to get to a text message from Mr. Jim Hingley, who's watching the program. When Jim Hingley texts me, I read the comment immediately. I'll ask this question to Mr. Hingley, Mr. Williamson, Mr. John Blair, and the media outlets that are watching the program. I'm fine with raising the pay. But if we raise the pay, should we also have term limits? Should there be term limits to prevent career politicians? Some people will say a career politician yields institutional memory.
I was going to mention that.
And an efficient government because they know how the government operates. Others would say a career politician can, and I'm not saying any anybody that's been in terms back to back, Malik. I'm not saying she falls in this category, but some would say career politicians also lead to cronyism and a lack of fresh thinking. And
invite kickbacks.
Not saying that's the case by any means, but that's what some folks would say. Jim Hingley, this text message, $32.69 an hour is not unreasonable for council. Assuming 20 hours a week and a $34,000 annual salary, that works out to be $32.69 an hour. 34,000 divided by 1040, the number of hours worked each year, $32.69 from Mr. Jim Hingley. I will say this, Mr. Hingley, Jim, respect you. Very much love seeing you around the downtown mall. I think you make the hat that you wear around the downtown mall look about as fashionable and as awesome and as cool as anyone wearing a hat around the mall. I sincerely mean that. Love seeing him around downtown Charlottesville. Guy is a huge asset for this community. The $32.69, that's just not what they get. Believe they also get some health care. They get health care. They get a city-issued phone, city-issued technology. So there are other perks to the position. City-issued credit card. Nakaya Walker. sorry, former Mayor Walker. Using that credit card to give little shout-outs to people shouting her out on the dais. I had to go down that road. I apologize.
A little $25 gift card here, a little $25 gift card there.
Some would say that's lowbrow, Jerry. I apologize if that was lowbrow. Neil Williamson, the hashtag elections matter. Bill McChesney's photo on screen. Look at all this money. Let's be like California and give ourselves 300% raises. Bill McChesney says, council thinks they are Scrooge McDuck. They think the money well is bottomless. Georgia Gilmer, term limits across the board. Amen, sister friend, Georgia Gilmer. Term limits across the board. It's easy to dish out 2x raises when assessments have jumped 60, 70% since COVID in the city of Charlottesville. It's easy to dish 2x raises when government spending is equivalent to what? The spending we see at the federal level, at the local level here in Charlottesville. I am one that is socially liberal, physically conservative. Socially liberal, physically conservative. And I'm concerned about the spend in Charlottesville, gentrifying the community and taking OG Charlottesville and sending OG Charlottesville to Waynesboro, to Richmond, to Fluvanna, to Buckingham. Because that's what I've seen happening in my 24 years in this community.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that? Judah B. Wickower, jack of all trades. The dominator of the dinks. Lisa Knuckles, welcome to the program. Dinks,
Lisa.
I mean, pickleball. A dink in pickleball is a compliment. Being a dink artist is a compliment. It's a compliment. You're a dink artist. It's a key shot in pickleball, the dink.
Alrighty then.
Anything you want to add to this discussion?
I think there's something to be said for, I believe it was Councilor Snook who mentioned that maybe...
Oh, he wrote the tea leaves correctly.
A little bit slower raising of the bar of the salaries would have been more appropriate.
100%. Lloyd Snook, again, a voice of reason.
Yeah, don't do it all at once.
Lloyd Snook, a voice of reason. Can we Market Street Camp? Let's get the folks over there. Let's wave to them. Can you wave to them? Are they on the Market Street Camp?
Yeah.
Judas, why do you blush when you get people on the Market Street Camp? Shouldn't it be them blushing when they're on the Market Street Camp?
I don't know that I was blushing about getting them.
You were blushing that they were on the Market Street Camp. Deep Throat says this. The real way to do ranked choice voting in Charlottesville is to have one ranked vote for the entire council. Cambridge does this. It allows for a candidate that has, say, strong support of 30% of the population to get on council, so a greater diversity of views is represented. The problem in the current system is not that we have an unpopular person winning because the rest of the field splits votes. Mm-hmm. He also says this. I think this is more rule than exception now. Not one of the people on council could really be called affluent. Who would I say is the most affluent person on council? Probably Councilor Snook, former mayor.
Most likely.
An attorney, owns his own law firm, wife's an attorney, Greenbrier neighborhood, beautiful house, own their office space. The reason I know that is he's in the building that we're in 30 yards from here. He's got a fantastic office space, a 2-floor office space in this downtown building. Mm-hmm. I'd say Councilor Snook, especially as empty nesters, would be qualified as affluent. Michael Payne would not be qualified as affluent. Quantified.
No.
Natalie Ostrom would not. Pinkston and Wade would probably be seen as middle to upper class from a socioeconomic standpoint. The HUD family household income, $124,400. The median, I would imagine the Snooks are higher than that. Certainly higher than that. Anything else you want to add to this, Judah B. Whitcower?
No. No, I think we're good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anything else you want to... What's the next topic, my friend?
Endzone.
This is a sad story.
Yeah. Very critical of a certain landlord.
Endzone Pizza north of town, Timberwood Boulevard, right on the Albemarle-Greene County line.
Yeah.
Shopping center owned by an out-of-market developer now.
Mm-hmm. I've got
out-of-market landlord.
I've got the sign if you want me to put it up.
You can put the sign up. It's a great... Adding some color to the show. I like that, Judah Whitcower. This is the sign from the Endzone family that said they're closed.
Yeah.
Could you read the sign to the viewers and listeners?
Yeah.
Of this fine and fair talk show?
Here we go. Okay.
I've had many a pizza and many a sub here.
We at Endzone Pizza and Subs would like to thank you, our loyal customers, for 24 years of patronage as we announce that we are officially closed. Thank you, management and staff.
Here's the reality. The food and beverage business in shaky territory. Very shaky territory.
Definitely for a lot of businesses.
The food and beverage business in particularly shaky territory when you have out-of-market developers, out-of-market landlords purchase your shopping center and drastically raise rents when you were scraping by to begin with.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened here. The pizza space saturated. The need to adapt in a technology-driven environment, and I'm not just talking technology in business, I'm not just talking technology and consulting in banking, artificial intelligence, I'm talking technology in retail and restaurant and food and beverage. Look at what's happening in the UVA merchandise space. There's an out-of-market retailer called Alumni Hall.
Yeah.
A chain college merchandise retailer.
Out of Tennessee.
Out of Tennessee. That is opening a storefront in Barracks Road Shopping Center.
Yeah. In the old, is it Rebecca's?
The old Rebecca's Natural Food location. I try to sell, as a business broker, we're business brokers, try to sell Rebecca's Natural Food. We got it to the bottom of the 7th inning and could not make the deal work, much to my disappointment. Long story short, Alumni Hall opening in the old Rebecca spot and will directly challenge Mincer's. There's a Mincer's in Stonefield and there's a Mincer's on the UVA corner.
Yeah.
This particular location, Barracks Road Shopping Center, some would call it the best retail outlet, the best retail shopping center in Central Virginia. They have locations everywhere. They have purchasing power. They have a marketing director that's sending me emails 2 or 3 times in the last 2 weeks about their grand opening. They've invited yours truly to the Barracks Road Shopping Center for cocktails, for hors d'oeuvres, for a party, for Cavman, for the UVA cheerleader and live UVA cheerleading team and live music. A ribbon cutting with the Chamber of Commerce. They're making their grand opening in Barracks Road Shopping Center a splash. And why they're able to do that is because of economies of scale. They're vertically integrated. They use the purchasing power. They use the social media power. They use the ad buying. They use the media buying. They use the power of a marketing director to promote all the stores, a social media wizard. And they're creating buzz in college towns all over the eastern seaboard and the mid-Atlantic. Mincer's now has to compete against this. A family-owned business has to compete against a behemoth. You talk Endzone Pizza. What's Papa John's doing well? What's Domino's doing well? They're doing technology well. Domino's and Papa John's haven't changed their menu or their recipe or their food that much. You have a deep dish here. You have a New York style there. You have a thin and crispy there. A little chicken tenders there. Maybe some dots with some Parmesan or some powdered sugar that you could dip in sauce, some spaghetti sauce or some chocolate syrup. Big whoop-de-doo. What they're doing is they're doing technology, online ordering through an app. 15-minute delivery or less, getting points for purchase. If you get so many points, you get free pizza. They're becoming tech plays. Domino's and Papa John's are technology plays. And Endzone Pizza can't compete against a technology play like that. Certainly not a technology play like that that has purchasing power, cost of goods power, vertical integration, and economies of scale.
It's fair, but I don't think that's what killed it.
You don't think that's what killed Endzone?
No.
I think what killed Endzone is the death of 1,000 cuts. Their customer base shrank because inflation's kicking everyone in the nuts. Their cost of goods went up, their labor went up, and they couldn't pass those additional costs on to their customers without pricing themselves out of the market. Then an out-of-market landlord purchased their shopping center and dramatically raised their rents, and they were left on a hill that was quicksand.
Yeah.
That's what happened to Endzone.
That's fair.
They died the death of 1,000 cuts. And when you die the death of 1,000 cuts, you have to innovate to stay ahead of the blood loss. You have to clot quicker than the blood loss, and they could not do it. And it sucks.
Yeah.
Because that was a family-owned business that for 24 years had served much of Earlysville, Greene County, and northern Albemarle. Vanessa Parkhill's the queen of Earlysville, watching the program. She said her photo on screen, Endzone Pizza closing breaks my heart. I grabbed our fair share of pizzas there after sports practices back in the day. I wish that family all the best. Exactly.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we want locally owned businesses and food and beverage or retail to survive, you better effing support them. Because it's the death of 1,000 cuts that's happening.
Yeah.
So frustrating. John Blair, comment. Got some Court Square commentary to get to. The real question about the Court Square property, if you're going to do a complete gut, given the age, what about the asbestos removal? Is $2 million going to be enough? It's a great question. It's a great question.
Yeah.
I am the largest owner of the Macklin Building in downtown Charlottesville on Market Street. We, in the last few years, painted the outside of our building, removed awnings on the outside of our building, and it took years to go through the approval process because we're in the downtown historic district. We're trying to light the courtyards of the Macklin Building, the 2 courtyards. And the ARB process to light these damn courtyards is effing brutal. Most people say just smack a light up there.
But it can't face up into the sky. It can't face
You saw
out.
the application, right? Remember some of the elements of it?
All I remember is that I think the light couldn't face. It couldn't, mess up the Charlottesville night sky, and it couldn't be facing out into the street where it might, temporarily blind a driver.
Court Square, the lights on the courtyards of the Macklin Building. Can't illuminate out, can't illuminate up, can't illuminate down. What the F do you have? You can install lights that can't illuminate up, can't illuminate out, and can't illuminate down. What are you installing? What are we installing?
I don't know.
This comes from Facebook Messenger. Anonymous, please, Jerry. 300 Court Square. I'm curious, 2 years ago, before the mall really started turning less appealing, would you see more upside potential for a condo building on the mall proper or 2 blocks north? What about today? Upzoning in 2 blocks to the north of the mall seems very appealing now. Great comment. Studio apartments instead of condos. Studio apartments. Kathy Galvin, Oliver Kutner, who I saw last week, one of Ludwig's scions. I know his scions well, Oliver and Fabian. Oliver at one time, off of Water Street, between Water Street and Garrett Square. John Blair, you remember this project well. Try to build studio apartments. Tiny, micro, they weren't even studio. He called them micro apartments. Micro apartments like you see in Manhattan. We're talking like 400 square foot, 500 square foot studios. You had your kitchen, you had your bath, you had your bed, and you had a seating area and maybe a tiny table. And he said there's a market for these in Charlottesville. People can go on these micro apartments, and they can be young professionals and patronize the businesses around town. I'll rent them, and they'll rent all day, every day, twice on Sunday. Easy peasy, Sunday greasy, squeezy maneasy. Okay? And Kathy Galvin, the architect, one-time city councilor, said, no squeezy peasy, Sunday greasy. I'm going to kibosh that junks. And that's what she did. She kiboshed the micro apartments for Oliver Kutner. Oliver got pissed, started developing in Lynchburg. Started focusing on his super race car, where he was winning awards on that super race car. He's the owner of the where Firefly is. What's that place called?
What is that?
Where Clyde Smith used to be located. He owns the glass building. He owns a building off of Water Street. He owns real estate everywhere. Okay. And to this comment that came in anonymously, some of these buildings that are on the market right now would never have ever gone to a public MLS. They would have traded off-market and hand-to-hand combat as a private listing from one rich dude to another rich gal, from one rich gal to a rich entity or a REIT. They would never, ever have made a public MLS. The fact that we're seeing so many downtown positions go onto a public interfacing multiple listing service shows the vulnerability of the 8 blocks we call downtown and the side streets that surround them. Anything else you want to add to this? Jude B. Wickhauer, jack of all trades, dominator of the dinks.
No, I mean, it's, we're seeing a lot of businesses rise and fall right now, and it's not really anything new. It's just, it hurts sometimes when it's an older business that a lot of people love.
100%, John. Thank you you're 100% right. He said, if I'm not mistaken, and he's never mistaken. He's just being a humble human being here. If I'm not mistaken, weren't the micro apartments supposed to be where the 323 building is, next to the Treehouse building? Or was the Treehouse building supposed to be where the micro unit's supposed to be? He knows exactly what he's talking about, John Blair. He don't make mistakes. That's exactly where they were supposed to be. KG shot those down and picked those apart like Thanksgiving turkey. I bet you if you talk with KG, she would say that was one of the biggest errors she's made on the dais. I bet you if you asked her today. She rides her bike all over city council. An esteemed architect, KG, Kathy Galvin. Friend of the program, Kathy Galvin. Friend of the program. All right, the last topic is a weird sicko topic. So sick.
Very strange.
I mean, this just gives me the creepy crawlies, this topic. But it's in the paper of record. It's in the Daily Progress. And frankly, it's in the Greene County Record. Do you want to set the stage for this?
I mean, how much do I have to leave out?
4 hours ago, this was published.
This is just strange. I mean, I don't know what compels someone to think any of this is a good idea, but the cook.
Payton's Grocery, Greene County. Who, what, when, where, why first. And then the color. The who. Payton's Grocery.
The cook.
The what, the where, and the why. head chef, filming himself, amateur porn,
I mean,
sending them the amateur porn videos to people.
Yeah.
Not sure where the location is. Using a lollipop, cooking tools, and then lighter fluid to pleasure himself. Using the lighter fluid as lubricant before he set himself on fire. This is so sick.
I don't even know if this qualifies as porn. It's more just odd kink. Why?
Seriously.
I'm not sure what the compulsion is in this type of behavior, but
attention.
Not good attention if your family recently took over a business and people are wondering if you're doing this in the same area where you're cooking what may be their next meal.
I've eaten at Payton's Chicken, Payton's Grocery.
But this article, I mean,
potato wedges are delightful.
Please.
The fried chicken, the batter, and I'm hesitant to use the word batter.
Okay.
Buttery and spicy alike.
Oh, dear. Please find this article. It is comedy gold.
I wouldn't say, the headline, if you want to check it out, Cooks Amateur Pornography Royals Business at Greene County Convenience Store in the Greene County Record. And
the videos.
How about this for
the
first
videos,
paragraph?
Okay.
There's been more cooking at Payton's Grocery than fried chicken lately. I mean, Judah's finding this absolutely hysterical
it's
over
hilarious.
here.
The videos have since been exchanged among neighbors more out of concern and curiosity than romantic interest. I'm glad they added that proviso at the end of there. And neither the cook nor his wife would confirm or deny that the videos were filmed inside Payton's. Like, she knows about this and apparently is okay with it because she's been replying to people on Facebook and saying, you don't have to come here. If you don't want to, don't come.
Oh,
and,
God.
And the capper is the last line. You want to read the last line?
No, you can read the last line.
Rebecca,
I'm actually embarrassed about this. Go ahead.
Rebecca Pritchett told the Daily Progress that an August 1 reopening went pretty decent considering.
Small business. It ain't easy.
The open and closed status of the store has left many residents puzzled. Some days they appear open and ready for business. Other days the lights are off and you can't get gas or a chicken leg.
It ain't easy.
I mean, this is
being sleazy.
Great reporting. I love this.
Can you imagine getting the assignment to report this story?
Can you imagine trying to talk to any of these people?
And how about one of the people that witnessed the video when she was describing what was going on in there and the language she utilized?
Oh, that was... Do you want to read that? Riley with 2 eyes.
It just shows you... Oh, you know what? Before I get myself into any more trouble, I'll just close the program. I thought today's show was pretty darn good. Judah Wickower, Jerry Miller, the I Love CVille Show on a Tuesday afternoon. We just want to be the water cooler of content. We don't care where the content comes from. We want to spotlight the good, the bad, and the ugly of a community we call Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia because we love the community and we want the community to be as informed on topics as we read, hear, and are told about. Thank you kindly for joining us. So long, everybody.